In this video, we are going to talk about the importance of process of elimination on a multiple choice standardized test. So the first thing you need to understand is that process of elimination is not just a strategy that you can use if you're not sure of the answer. Process of elimination is the strategy to use on a standardized multiple choice test. Think back to when you were in elementary school. When you took a multiple choice test in elementary school, you probably were able to recognize the right answer right away. Let's look at this question that might have been on an elementary or maybe middle school test. What is the nucleus of a cell? If you look through these multiple choice answer choices, you'll probably notice a key phrase right away that you will connect with the word nucleus. I see outside here. Nope, that's out. I see command center or brain of a cell right here. And just by scanning through the rest, I see green pigment. Nope. Jelly-like substance that makes up a cell body. Nope. But you know what? Even without looking at A, C, and D, if I knew what a cell was and what parts of a cell are what, then I probably would have been able to pick out B right away without doing much process of elimination. But here's the thing. That kind of picking out the right answer right away probably will not work on the kinds of multiple choice tests that you are taking today. When you get into high school and you start taking more difficult, especially reading related multiple choice tests, you really have to use process of elimination, because the answer choices on these higher level reading tests are designed that way. They're designed for you to have to use process of elimination. To talk about what I mean in more detail, let's take a look at a passage that you may have worked on in class already as part of EOC review. This is a passage called A Lasting Tribute. And just a side tip, always pay attention to titles, because the title here is going to help with one of the questions later. A lasting tribute. But we'll get back to the questions in a minute. For now, I want you to pause this screencast and read the page you see in front of you. So go ahead and hit pause and read, and I'll be right back. Okay, so hopefully you hit pause a minute ago and you read this page. What we have in front of us is a passage about the Taj Mahal. The passage on this first page talks about a visit to India. The narrator is telling us that he or she went to India and that exploring the Taj Mahal, let's look down here, exploring the Taj Mahal left a real impression on this narrator. Okay, so that's the first page. I'm going to scroll down. Here is the second page of this passage. I want you to go ahead and hit pause again and read the rest of the passage. Hit pause now. All right, so hopefully you just hit pause and you read the rest of this passage that talks about construction of the passage, and then it gets into the fact that the Taj Mahal took up so much time for the Shah that he was actually overthrown by his own son. At least building the Taj Mahal might have been part of that, the reason for that overthrow. And then it gets back in the last paragraph, it gets back to the narrator talking about his or her own trip. Okay, so that's the passage. If you need to review it anymore, hit pause, go back in this video, and read the pages. So in this discussion of the importance of process of elimination, we're just going to look at one question. This is the last question on this passage. And in past applications of this test practice, so many students have missed this question. And you know what? I can understand why. Let's look at the question itself. How does the author unfold his ideas about the Taj Mahal? What the heck? How does the author unfold his ideas? That is a very vague, abstract, and difficult question. So how are we going to get this right? Well, we're going to read the answer choices. And we're going to use process of elimination to figure out which of the answer choices don't even match the passage itself. That's why this is so important. You can't quickly pick out the right answer for this question because it's kind of difficult to understand what the question means until you've read all the answer choices and asked yourself, does this really fit this passage? That's why process of elimination is so important, because in this case, the answer choices are helping you to narrow down what the passage is about so you can figure out what this question means in the first place. If you read this question and thought, I don't know what that even means, you are not alone. That is true for pretty much everybody, and you know what? Teachers included. How does the author unfold his ideas? The test maker clearly knew what he or she wanted to focus on in these answer choices. I think it's likely that the test maker had the right answer before the test maker even wrote the question. And that's why process of elimination, looking at these answer choices, is so important here. So let's look at answer A. He explains, he is referring to the author, he explains in detail the different sections of the Taj Mahal, including the materials and construction methods used to build them. Always go back and look at the passage, but I can tell you right now that by just reviewing what each paragraph is about, I know there is no paragraph in here. There is no paragraph in the passage that explains in detail the different sections of the Taj Mahal. The different sections of the Taj Mahal. That's just not there. There is some information about how the Taj Mahal was constructed, but there's no place in the passage where the author explains in detail the different sections and the materials and construction methods used in those different sections. Okay, I'm starting to get an idea of what this question is about, but let's go on to another answer choice, and that'll help us even more. All right, so the next answer choice, he addresses Shah Jahan's rule of India both before and after the construction of the site. All right, so by reading this, he addresses before and after. I'm starting to realize that this is a structure question. When the question says, how does the author unfold his ideas? This is about how does the author set up the passage. And you know what? If I go back, I'm going to see that the passage does not address Shah Jahan's rule of India. There's just not that much detail in the passage about the Shah Jahan's rule of India before and after the construction of the site. All right, so let's go on to C. He uses the Taj Mahal as a metaphor for all that India stands for. A lot of people pick this answer because it just sounds really smart, but the passage really doesn't get into what the Taj Mahal stands for. The passage is about who built the Taj Mahal and why. It's not about what India stands for. So we can pretty quickly eliminate C, and then that brings me to D. He parallels the story. Parallels the story. I'm not exactly sure what that verb, the verb parallels, means, but let's go on. He parallels the story of its history, the Taj Mahal's history, with a first-hand description of someone visiting. Okay. The whole point of the point of view in this passage is that the narrator is telling us about his first-hand, or his first-hand description of visiting the Taj Mahal. Let's go back to the first page. It starts, "My visit to India," and it ends, "As I departed from the site." So, I know that there is something right in this first-hand description of someone visiting. So let me look at this again. I'm not really sure what parallels means, but a lot of the passage does deal with history, the history of the Taj Mahal, and it is certainly true that the passage includes a first-hand description of someone visiting. So this is going to be my answer choice, D, and it is the correct answer choice. So let me just summarize this. Process of elimination was so important on this question, and it really wasn't a difficult question to get right at all. But process of elimination is the only way to do it, because the question itself is a little unclear, and the correct answer may contain a word you don't know. But once you've eliminated the other three answers, once you've decided, yeah, these don't fit the passage, none of these three fit the passage. Once you've decided on that, and then you see key words like first-hand, visiting, and history, you've got to choose D. It's really the only logical answer choice. Okay, so that is why process of elimination is so important on a higher level reading multiple choice test. I hope you've gotten a strategy out of this you can use. I hope you realize that by having a strategy for process of elimination in place, it's not just about understanding every word in a passage. It's not about understanding perhaps a vague question. There is a strategy you can use, and generally it works. Just engage that logical mind and be willing to do the work. Thanks for listening.